Greetings everyone, in today's video we will show you how to create this 2D interactive fog using the visual effect graph. You will be able to adjust the collision or obstacles to block the path of the fog particles. Also you'll be able to adjust the wind direction and speed. There will be minimum values and maximum values to control those. Additionally, you can control the color of your fog particles. There will be a primary color or base color and also a secondary color to give you freedom to choose the best color for your scene. And finally, you can control, of course, the transparency and how thick and visible the background behind the fog itself. Also, it's worth to mention that this video has been requested and funded by our supporter on Patreon, Jack Mariani. So special thanks to him and we are really grateful to your support. So let's get started. By creating new Unity 2D project, of course, this will be can be applied to 3D projects too. So feel free to create the project that suits your purposes or scene. Let's name the 2D project 2D Fog VFX Graph. Now let's go to Window, Package Manager and install the Visual Effect Graph package. Then let's go back to the scene and change the background color to black so we can see the fog clearly. Now in the Project tab, let's create new Visual Effect Graph. Let's name it Fog. Open the Visual Effect Graph and let's start. We need to control the fog amount, so let's create a new property. It's float property and name it Fog Amount. We'll use that to control the spawn rate of the fog particles. And set the default value to 500. Then connect that fog amount to the constant spawn rate. Increase the capacity to 10K so we can hold 10K active particles in the scene. Now the particles are spawning from one point, but we need them to spawn within a box. So let's create a new node called position AABOX inside the initialized particle section, and we can control the box location and size to decide where the particles should spawn. But if the box adjustment didn't work for you, so just close the visual effect graph, then select the fog game object from the hierarchy, then click edit and try again. So let's adjust the position to cover all the scene or the camera view at least. Maybe you can add some extras so to make sure the fog covers all the camera view. Now let's go down and change the main texture to the default particle texture. You can use any other texture, of course, if you want, but I think this is very good for the current fog tutorial. Also, on the way, we need to delete the set size over lifetime because we don't want that to change over lifetime. We need to control the transparency later. And now we need to set parameters to control the wind direction, so we will set to vector 3 to control the minimum value of the wind speed and the maximum value. So let's create two vector 3 parameters. Let's name the first one wind speed min and the other one wind speed max. Then we can, using those, control or randomly give the system to choose between two values. For example, for the X, we can set the values for the minimum minus 0.5 and for maximum 0.5, so it will be randomized between those values. For the X, we can do the same for the Y, but I'll keep the Z 0 since we are dealing with 2D scene currently. Let's adjust the lifetime to 10 because the fog particle should stay for a long time on the screen. Now we need to control the size of each particle in the fog visual graph. So let's create a new node, set size random, and we will be randomizing the value between two values. So let's create two new parameters, two floats. The first one is the min fog particle size and the other one max fog particle size. Then drag those and link them to the A and B in the set size random. Let's set the minimum value to 1 and the maximum value to 2 for now. And now we started to see something like a good fog particles floating in the screen. Now we need to set collision areas, so let's create inside the update section of the particles collide with a sphere, assuming that we will have a sphere area which is clear from fog. It can be a place of interest, or this can be linked to the player location, so it clears the fog around him. Let's set the radius mode to from size, and we can increase the bounce to 0.5. That means when a particle hits this collider, it will go back a bit. Also, we can increase the lifetime loss to 0.9. That means the particle which hits this collider will die nearly immediately, to avoid accumulating particles that collide with this sphere. Additionally, to make this fog feels more realistic, we need to make the particles go around the sphere. So the fog particles rotate or goes around the sphere and continue its way. And to do this, we need to create a new node called conform to sphere. This will try to attract the particles toward that sphere. In the beginning, you will see it will be like a tornado that sucks all the particles inside it, but let's change the values to 0.1 for the attraction speed, attraction force, stick distance, and stick force. Okay, now we need to control the fog transparency, so let's go to the set color over live node and change the color mode to alpha, because we want to just control the alpha currently. Then we will add colors later. So let's create a new gradient. Let's name it fog alpha, and we can change how it starts and how it ends. It ends, of course, with 0 alpha and start with 0 alpha 2. Near the beginning and near the end, we can create 2 keyframes to control the alpha, and we can then control those. Maybe setting those frames before the end and after start to 25 will give a reasonable, good looking alpha. Then link that fog alpha parameter to the color in the set color over live node. Also, I think if we increase the max fog particle size to 3, will give a better result. Yeah, it makes it more realistic, I think. Now we need to control the colors of the fog, so let's create new node in the output section, set color random. So we will have 2 colors, the base color and secondary color. So let's create 2 new color parameters. The first one fog based color and the second one fog secondary color. Choose whatever colors you like, then link both of them to the A and B in the set color random node. So let's set the base color to white and the secondary color maybe to something bluish. And we're done with setting up the main parameters for our VFX fog graph. Let's see it in action by creating or bringing an art for a game. So I brought a background which provided to me by Jack Mariani, who requested this VFX graph. So let's resize it to fill the camera. Now we can click on the fog, click edit, and adjust the position of the collider, the sphere collider, to match this destroyed tower. So we don't need the fog to enter that destroyed tower, since it's a high ground considered. So just move the collider sphere position to that destroyed tower. We also can add box colliders. So let's add a new node called collide with AABOX. We can set that to the bridge since it's a higher ground than the ground itself, and set the radius mode to from size and set the rough surface to active and lifetime loss to 0.9 and roughness to 0.5. That will prevent the fog particles from entering that box area. And that's all. We can now enjoy adjusting the parameters we created throughout this video to reach the fog that suits our scene. So we can, let's maybe increase the fog amount to 1K and change the wind speed to be something to top left instead of top right, maybe left down. So we can set the maximum to -1 on X and -0.5 on the Y. That drives the fog in the different direction. I can also increase or decrease the alpha of the fog. That will make it more realistic fog for this scene. And that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed watching it, don't forget to hit like, subscribe and the notification bell so you don't miss the next one. And we are really grateful to these awesome people who support us on Patreon: Shahar Bar, Dretek, Andrew Stenfield, Alexis Fix, Ryan Rena, Dimitri Basilevs, Breadman, Joshua, Kratochville, Parker Nelson, Giacomo Mariani, the founder of this video, Falcon Jazz, Jazz Fever, Pedro Transong, Jans Valentine, Kogo Apuni, Rick Jaboyski, Jack Crystal and Mohammed Aiden. Till next video, see you soon.